Okay, good evening.
Good
So
evening,
we're here tonight with Aakash, and we have Jeff and John Heinzman here. And Aakash, I don't know, how do you say your last name?
Oh, Ramesh it is. Aakash Ramesh.
Ramesh. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So Aakash is a local artist who lives in Pekin that I have recently, in the last probably 6 months, met. I was perusing through Facebook one night and seeing this amazing art, and it stopped me, and I was like, oh my gosh, who is this? And Aakash is actually a mutual friend of one of my friends on Facebook, Denise. And I don't remember how, but I said something to Denise. I think it was her post. I think she
Yeah.
said, "This is my friend Aakash. She works with you at Pekin Insurance." And I was like, "Oh, we have got to get Aakash to teach for us." So I reached out to Aakash, and then he started teaching. And you've done what, a session and a half at the Art Guild now, I think.
You're right.
His classes have been a lot of fun. His talent is amazing. So anyway, I wanted to just kind of get you on here so we could get people to meet you. And I really want to get you connected with the Peoria art scene more because you have some incredible talent. So Aakash, do you want to tell us a little bit about your story?
Sure. I'll be happy to do that. First of all, thank you, Shannon and John and Jeff, for giving me this opportunity to talk about my artwork. And so far, my association with Peoria Art Guild has been great. The way you treat the artists and the way you open the platform for anyone to learn, the different forms of art. It's just not one form of art. It's really commendable. Thanks for doing that for all the artists out there. Especially at times like this, art is something that is keeping us going.
Yeah.
It makes us to survive more, which is really great. Thank you so much.
It's so much
So,
fun to get to know you guys and support you. So, I mean, that's what makes me tick. So I love it.
I'm happy to be, happy to even know you, first of all,
Oh,
and to share the enthusiasm all together. So thanks for that. And to tell something about me is I'm originally from India. So I've been here for past 5 years now. And I basically I'm a graphic pencil artist, and I do portraits, human face portraits. That's my field of not expertise. I would say the field of art which I choose to work on. So the main reason I went for people face is I always get inspired by different expressions, like the way they can emote the emotions of their face. It is just it just attracts me to do that more, and that's the reason why I went to the phases. And that is something that you commonly see everywhere where you travel. There are a lot of people out there and a lot of new features, new textures that you come up with, and so that's my field of interest. And I've been doing this for the past 12 years now. I've been sketching portraits, and I purely use graphic pencils, and that is my medium. I do not use, a pencil that is apart from graphite. No charcoals or not any other medium that I have been used so far. I've tried, but I come back and stick to graphite pencils because I love them more.
Well, if that works for you,
Yeah,
then you should
yeah,
stick with it.
that's true. That's true. That's true. And
when,
also, yeah, John, please go ahead.
when did you start drawing? I mean, at a young age, were you always drawing in India, or?
Yeah, you're right. So I was this person who used to, create a big scene if I don't get enough papers to draw. Even at my small age, I always make issues when I don't get enough papers to draw. So I've been doing this for as long as I know. And but I got this interest with portraits like 12 to 13 years ago. So that is when I wanted to just do human faces. Before that, it was more like scribblings all over the notebooks, whichever I get. And any scrapbooks you open, you can see more than class notes. You will see some or the other coming up in there. So that was my art. That was my professional art back then. So now it has transformed to a different canvas. Now I can pick and choose what I want to do and stuff like that. So,
Did you did you major in art when you
yeah.
were at university level? And
No.
because of your love for it, that you just keep pursuing it. And is it now become your career?
Yeah. So, John, to answer your question, I did not get a chance to learn this professionally from anyone. From where I come, getting art as my major was not a possibility. A lot of people do it now, but back at my time when I started doing my school and everything, art was just part of my curriculum, but it was not the major part of it. So it was completely out of my interest, and out of the support from my family and everyone, they also encouraged me to do it during my free time. Even now, it's not my complete career. I am not doing it full time. This is completely my hobby. I just do it whenever I get enough time to do it. So it's more like my weekend hobby nowadays. And at this time, with all the lockdown and the stay at home, it is completely full time now. So I get most of the time during the day, weekdays, and everything. I'm trying to invest more to create some art to not lose the other side of mine. So yeah, I do not have any major degree related to art. It's completely based on observing other artists, trying to see and learn on what they are doing, and that's how I try to learn.
Who are some of the artists that you looked at? Whose drawings have you looked at?
Internationally, so there are a couple of them, and the main artist whose my inspiration is Charles Leverson. I believe he's from Brazil or Spain. I'm not sure exactly from where he is, but his level of details with portraits is what attracts me or inspires me every single day. You wake up to his post in social media, and you just think what you have been doing all this long. When someone can create some realistic portraits like this using just pencils, if someone can do that, why can't you do it? And that inspires me to do some or the other, even if it's not as good as his. It pushes me, and he's been a great inspiration for me for a very long time now. And now going through a lot of social media artists, it's just amazing that how people are doing this for full time, and they are making this as their complete career. I really appreciate whoever doing that, and including everyone who appear articles. So yeah.
Well, I think what's really amazing is that you have dedicated yourself to a medium that, for the most part, many artists use drawing as a preparatory for a painting or a sketch for what their sculpture is going to look like. And instead, yours is an end to the means. You are just there to draw a portrait. And I love some of the loose lines and the darkness and the contrast that you get with just using graphite pencils. I mean, it really is quite wonderful. Have you ever done anything abstract? Have you ever tried to do anything abstract?
I might have in my early stages. When I started experimenting with pencils, I wanted to do something around in the background, and I wanted to give a different texture on the skin. I tried, but it was not a great success to me. So when I failed in that, I wanted to try something different. And that's when I wanted to go for the realistic texture of a human face. And that's where I got stuck, to be frank. And that is my comfort zone. I don't want to, I'm not trying to come out of it. I've been trying a little bit, but it's not going great. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's amazing that what you're doing is based on emotion and the expression of the individual. There are a lot of famous American artists in particular who are very much into realism. One of them is Chuck Close, and another one is Philip Pearlstein. And Philip Pearlstein just absolutely looks at the human figure as just a commodity. It's just something to be sat there in front of him, and he just draws it. It's full of life in the fact that it looks very real, but it doesn't have any expression to the faces of the models or anything like that. And I think it's really great that you focus on the expression and developing an emotional state to your drawing, as opposed to just being flat and being kind of lifeless.
Aakash, do you mind if I share your Facebook on our share screen?
My Facebook channel?
Yeah, do you mind if I share the screen? Yeah, I thought that it would be kind of fun to share some of your drawings
Sure, definitely.
if that's okay with you.
Absolutely happy to do that. Yeah.
I am amazed at how fast you do some of these drawings. And I know that some of these that you've done are recently have been digital,
Yeah.
but
I'm trying to
not all
experiment.
of them. And I'm amazed at how fast you can draw these, because you'll say, oh, this is just a quick draw, and I'll be like, a quick draw, a quick sketch, and it's just mesmerized. I'm mesmerized by how
Thank you.
real,
Thank
how,
you, Shannon.
and the details of them. And especially I love the way you catch the highlights in their hair and their eyes. I mean, it's just amazing.
You're right. Thank you so much, Shannon. The reason is, every phase has its own unique characteristic to it. There are some very unique features for everyone's phase, right? And it's very important to show that out. And if that is not correctly projected, you might not easily identify that personality. And especially when you're doing a famous figure, it's very important to capture every single feature of the face. And that's why I try. I'm still trying. I'm still learning a lot while doing that. But there are some projects which are not quick enough. So there are some projects which I've invested around 200 to 250 hours,
Oh, wow.
and it's still going on. So I wouldn't say I'm fast at all the portraits. It's just few portraits that pick and choose and try to complete it quicker. But the rest is always a slow process. So.
And is this your father?
No, this is actually an Indian actor who recently passed away, actually.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
remember when you drew this.
But he actually, when you mentioned it, he actually resembles a little bit of my father, if he has a mustache to it. Yeah. I've never seen that. This is the first time I'm looking in a different way. Thank you, Sharon.
Oh, I had a question and I forgot. Have you ever won any awards?
Um, Frankly, I haven't been part of any competitions, except for when I was doing my postgraduate. There was one particular competition where they wanted to submit any form of art within the school here in North Carolina. And that was probably my first award ever. So I won an award across the university, and that was the only first and the last award I ever got.
Well, Shannon, you know what I think, though. Art is not a competition. So
Right.
most artists do it because of the love and the feel. I know, Anash, that I was actually a drawing major at the University of Iowa. And it was mostly, I chose that because it was the last university here in America that actually you could major in drawing as opposed to just majoring in art. And I know I acquired this wonderful love for paper between my drawing and my printmaking. I love the feel of paper. Do you have a particular paper that you like to use when you're drawing?
Yes, John, you're absolutely right. I prefer Canson sheets, and especially this 90 GSM. This is my all-time favorite. That's because of the texture it carries with it. And it is really satisfying when you start working on the skin texture of a person using that paper. Even right now, I'm working on something like that. And it is just immense satisfaction when you're done with that. And even while working on that. So that is my favorite sheet of paper, the Canson. They really have a great quality paper production. So that's my favorite.
Great. Now, do you use like a camera or anything to take snapshots or make sketches, so to speak, using a mechanical way such as that instead of just drawing and only drawing?
So I recently started recording some of my artwork, and I've been using just my phone to record whatever video it is. I'm very bad at using gadgets, so I try to keep it very minimal. And this is one of the recent videos that I recorded. And this is just purely just out of my phone camera. I did not use any other equipment. That's my technical expertise when it comes to camera and recording for art.
Yeah, I remember this video. I just love, and I love when you start adding the hair and the loose lines and how you pull it all together. And Shannon, when you say he's a quick draw, you do realize this has been
Yes.
fast forwarded a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I do realize that. But sometimes, oh, you guys. But sometimes he'll put something on and I'll note, he'll say, oh, I did this afternoon or, whatever. And I just, every time he posts something, I'm so excited to look at the different, techniques that he puts in his drawings.
And Shannon, did we include any graphite pencils in the art bags that we're doing for the students?
You know what? We we have a plenty of graphite pencils, so it would be great to throw one of those in your bag.
I think if it's okay with you, Aakash, I would think that maybe we should put a link with his Facebook page in the materials when we deliver these bags to the students and have them use those. I also did notice that, and we'll talk about it later, Shannon, that there was a set of pencils that were relatively cheap that maybe Jeff and I could to add to the bag, because I think that when you see what you're doing, Aakash, it's wonderful, and it just seems so fluid. And I hope that other people would get as excited about just simple graphite drawings. Because drawing it wanes as far as popularity. But we also have to remember that the first print rooms and the first libraries collected drawings to document great works of art and artists that, long ago, before we had photography. This is the only thing we know. Rembrandt was never in a photograph, but we had these wonderful self-portraits that he did. And just like what you're doing, I think they were rather realistic. I think they were definitely documenting the era, the culture, and the society at the time. And I think that drawing it's an underrated medium. It really is.
That's true. That is true.
Do you do commissions? Do you do portraits for commission?
Yes, Shannon. I've been doing it not very regularly. I try to do it to squeeze in within my timeline or whatever time I get. But I do it. I do accept remuneration for my commission work. So that's just very rarely to closed ones when they request to do their loved ones. So that's when I do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Our students, I know, in your classes have really, really enjoyed your teaching style, and have made, we send out surveys and they really like your classes and have learned a lot. So we're really excited to get that going again. And I know that Nikki's been talking to you about maybe doing some videos for us. Yes. But we are, as we talked about the art packs, we're working on art packs. We, really kind of wanted to send those home early on during the stay-at-home orders, but then now the kids were working on school stuff. But the other thing is we've had a hard time getting some of the supplies. It's kind of amazing. We've been scrambling around trying to find the paint sets. So we still are working on those art kits to be able to send home so that kids can do some classes. So yeah, I agree. We could put some charcoal pencils in there and maybe have you do some stuff with the kids online.
Yeah, if we just could link his Facebook page, put in a sheet that gives some of these maybe pointers or something at these resources that I'm sure it would be very inspiring to an awful lot of young artists. I really do.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate what you guys are doing, even at this, tough times, because there are a lot of people who cannot go out to acquire the actual tools that helps you to do the art. Because you will have all the time right now, but if you don't have the right tools to do it, it just, does not help you to do whatever you want. But helping with sending out tools to their homes, it's really appreciated. And I really thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to get them out there as soon as we get all the supplies, we're going to launch that. We're trying.
I totally understand. And it should be really difficult for you to, source all those from different places to in a single place and send it out. Because I'm pretty sure not all the places are open, which is supplying the art tools.
Right.
So that's a great work that we are doing right now.
Yeah.
Akash, do you make mark? I used to always tell my students, make a mark every day, meaning some kind of creative mark making. Do you make art every day?
Yes, I am picking up that habit again during all this lockdown period. I haven't been doing it for a while. I had this art block for a while, and I've been trying to get some inspiration to do it every day. But now I'm in this flow where I'm trying to invest at least an hour or an hour and a half to do something or the other. Pick up an unfinished work that has been sitting for a while and do some stages, add some details to it. Or usually eyes are my first object that I start with a portrait. So I'll randomly take an eye from browsing an image in reference in internet, and I'll just start doodling out of it. So that is something that I almost do it every day now with this ample amount of time that I have. But yeah, as you said, making a mark every single day, which it will give you something to thrive about. It will give you an inspiration every single day. Like I'm in touch with my other side of the hobbies, and I would definitely try to keep it doing as long as I can.
Very good. Well, I think you could also seek inspiration by just rewatching your videos, because they're amazing. They make all of us want to start drawing again, let me tell you.
Unfortunately, all I can see are just the mistakes, what I do in there.
Yeah.
So you might not be able to see them, but all I can see are just that.
Yeah, I think every artist does that.
Yeah, but it's a good thing. When I see it, I'll try not to do that again in my next project. So learning is a continuous process, right? So I try to do that every time.
We've also started a community art program in which we receive some grant funds from the Community Foundation that as soon as we can, we want to launch, where we will be going into maybe other facilities and reaching out to people who maybe can't get to us, or maybe even doing it by video, which is something we didn't think when we originally wrote the grant. There's people that live in assisted living or in the Salvation Army that we could possibly reach out to. So that's another thing that we'd like to get you connected to, Aakash.
Definitely, Shannon. I'll be more than happy to be part of it.
Yeah. We're excited to have you on our team.
I am. I'm more excited than you guys are probably.
I'm just excited I ran across you. I mean, I know. Yeah, it's so cool.
I really thank Dennis to connect us, with this particular artwork. I really thank her for doing that.
Yeah. And how long have you been in Pekin?
Pekin, I think I've been almost 3 years now.
3 years. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. In and out of Pekin 3 years.
Yeah. John, can you think of anything else?
Not really. I think this has been a great talk, and we really appreciate you giving us the time to do this. We hope that it's going to be inspiring to especially our young artists, because I think, drawing is fundamental, and whether you use it as a complete project or whether you use it as to prepare for something else, everyone needs to feel confident in making marks. And I think watching your videos, and I'm sure taking your classes, gives them the confidence that they need. And I think that's just remarkable.
Thanks a lot, John. These words are the support all we need, being an artist. A small appreciation, a small criticism is all we thrive for. And I'm looking forward to be part of Peoria Art Building as long as possible. So thanks for having me, and thanks for giving this opportunity to talk about my art and sharing my experience with you guys. That was great.
Thank you.
So anybody that's interested out there, you can see this is Akash's drawing book is his Facebook page. So I recommend that you check it out. Keep an eye on him. And also just keep an eye as soon as we are able to, we'll be having some classes with Aakash so he can teach you some of his fun skills, and maybe even I'll sit in on a couple and try to pick up a skill or two, because you know, I aspire to be an artist, but I just haven't found my niche yet.
Anyone can be an artist.
And we're all artists.
You are an artist. So.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. You have a good evening, and we're going to post this out on Facebook so everybody else can see it. And we look forward to seeing you soon, Aakash.
Thank you, Shannon. I'm so excited to be part of it again, back after all the lockdown. So I'm so excited to be part of it.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you. So you guys have a great evening, and we will talk to you all soon.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Shannon.
All right.
Be safe. Be safe.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Yeah.